New York City and some of our biggest cities at the time. They were living well below their means, in a beautiful house, but much smaller and without the facilities that they could have, had in the house. Andrew and his wife, Abby, not Lizzie's mother, actually her stepmother, on August 4th, 1892, are gruesomely murdered in their home. 19 whacks to the back of Abby's head, 11 whacks to Andrew's face. And to this day, we really do not know who the murderer was. This is one of those cases. I think we're probably closer to finding the, Jack the Ripper, than we are to this case. The deeper you dive, you end up with more questions.
But there are those who believe that Lizzie Borden herself did it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who believe that, and my personal opinion, I do find it hard to believe that she didn't know about it. Her uncle, on her actual mother's brother, mysteriously showed up and visited the day before the murders, and he was a butcher by trade. He was at the house the day before, and he stayed there. His alibi is very weird. He memorizes the name of 6 Irish priests. On the trolley, he memorized the badge number of an officer in the street directing traffic. It's a deep dive when you go in, and you end up with so many questions that just say, maybe Lizzie didn't even actually do this.
Wow. But then there's the question of who did through all this time. So that would explain why this is a disturbed location. Tell me how haunted it is and has been.
The house is active. There's no doubt about it. I've had a connection. I'm from Fall River, so I've had a connection my entire life here. My earliest experiences at the house go back to when I was probably 8 years old. Basically, when I'd stay home from school, I'd have to go there because my family was doing tours and operating it. So I would kind of hang out in the basement. And even then, I remember seeing, some shadows. I guess every single night, they report seeing shadows. They report hearing voices. The house on the side of the Lizzie Borden house was actually the home to another double murder that happened about 40 years earlier. Yeah, it was actually the aunt and uncle of Andrew Borden himself. She had children back to back to back and was suffering postpartum depression. And unfortunately, she murdered 2 of her children and then killed herself. So we believe that 2 of those children are actually in the house with us, because people are constantly reporting hearing, kids, and we don't have any kids who stay there overnight. They hear kids on the 3rd floor running around, kids' voices playing. So guests from all around the world like to bring gifts for the children. And, then other people report that Andrew is still in the house. I mean, he was very proud of this home. He's very proud of, his properties. So yeah, those are at least 3 of the characters that we have at the house.
Okay, tell me why you're recruiting an investigator. I think it's an investigator come guide, and what you're looking for.
Yeah, so we offer ghost hunts to the public 3 nights a week right now. We're looking to expand that as we get into spooky season. So we are looking for somebody who's trained in this and has a lot of experience in hunting, paranormal or doing paranormal investigations and ghost hunting, so that our guests who come from all around the world to use different types of ghost hunting equipment here have a guide who is knowledgeable in this and that can give them the best experience possible.
We have listeners around the world. Where do people go if they want to contact you?
Sure, go to lizzy-borden.com. If you send an email there, it'll go directly to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and we hope you come visit us.
Hey, listen, thank you very much for telling that so succinctly, Jared. Thank you. I hope one day I will see this place. Jared Robinson, manager of the Lizzie Borden House. Check it out online. One of America's reputedly most haunted locations. More of the news here on The Unexplained at Talk Radio. The BBC